Hey guys, Parascale Modeler back with another kit review for you. Call it a kit review slash what's in the box slash whatever, just to give you guys all a look at what you can expect when you get in the box of this 1968 Dodge Charger RT. It is a 2-in-1 version. They call it a special edition, and this one was manufactured in 2011. Skill level of 3, ages 12 plus, and 1/25th scale. Side of the box will give you your paint guide, paint callouts. You're looking at aluminum, Chrysler engine blue, Chrysler engine red. Now blues and reds depend on what motor you're going to put in it. Flat black, flat white, gloss bronze, metallic, gloss red, semi-gloss black, silver, steel, tan, and wood. Everything looks pretty straightforward. It's got 181 parts. Length is 8 5/16 long, and it is molded in white. Alright, well, let's set some stuff aside and get into it. We have 4 regular size tires with a half decent tread pattern on them, and they are all part of a rubber tree that you need to cut off. If you want to look at the tread, there you go, you can have a look. And it does offer slicks for the back on the custom racing version of it. Now they are slicks because, as you can see, they have no tread and need to be polished out. Getting on to the glass, no particular order, just how it comes out of the box is how we're going to have a look at it. Always keep your plastic bags, guys. Put your glass back in the bag so that way it doesn't get all scratched up. And looking at the glass here, it looks pretty good. We don't have any major crinkles and wrinkles in it, so it should turn out good. We have the front and back windscreen, side vent windows, and looking like our headlights and such. Oh, putting them back in the bag is sometimes a nightmare because of the bits and bobs they stick on the edge of the windshield. Lack of a better technical term, I guess, eh? Bits and bobs. How about all part of the screws? Crinkle of the bag. I haven't had anyone mention that the bag is annoying yet, but the reason I do this is to show you what comes in the box as I take it out. Okay, let's set that aside for now. We have the body, and having a good look over the body. Body's nice and straight, no worries there. Does, however, have in tops of the rear quarters, there's a mold seam there, and it is on both sides. Fenders themselves look good. The rest of the quarters seem good. And of course, as with all bodies, you're going to have to give it a quick sand down because there is a mold line. You can hear that. It's pretty pronounced on the fenders. Other than that, good looking body. Like I said, nice and straight. No concerns there. I noticed on the interior roof they do have some ribbed lines to simulate the head panel. But the problem with that is they have a bunch of ejector pin marks in the middle of it. So I guess if you wanted to fill that up with body filler, you sure can. And sand it down. I call it body filler, but you guys know I'm talking about whatever filler you decide to use. Tamiya, Squadron, so on and so forth. Interior itself looks good too. Once again, we have ejector pin marks in it. They're not really pronounced, but I'm sure they will show up in the paint job. Seats have nice detail in them. When we go to paint them up, they'll look good. Door panels as well. Nice raised lines to simulate the pockets in the doors. Door panels themselves, window cranks, armrest, so on and so forth. Here we have a couple radiator lines and some shocks. Next sprue, we have the chassis. It looks good, not a lot of cleanup. Give you a lot of detail on this chassis, so if you wanted to get carried away detail painting it, you most certainly can. Having a look at the seats themselves, molded in two pieces for the front seats. You have the seats themselves and the seat backs. Both have good detail, should go together nicely. Gonna need a little bit of sanding, of course, and your seam filler of choice. On to the next sprue. Next sprue we have we have the dash. Good detail on that, the top of the dash. We have the rear springs. We have the rear axle, and we have pedals, some lines. The pulleys and belts are molded quite nicely, actually. A little bit of cleanup should come along quite well, and the transmission itself does have half decent detail as well. So far, overall, looking good kit, that's for sure. We have the rear end of the car, so the bottom valence, everything's all molded in, and then you reset the bumper into it. We have some more driveline and steering components, sway bar, and we have upper brace stiffeners as well. Firewall, minimally detailed, but looks pretty good. Rad cradle looks good on that as well. And we have a front valence on this sprue as well. We have red glass components, which will simulate our taillights. Now the exhaust system's all molded in one piece here. Looks pretty good on the sides. Unfortunately, there is quite a bit of flash, so you're gonna have to knock that down with your knife or sanding stick or flexi files, your choice. And we have the starter, looks like on here. We have the rad itself. Nice detail in the rad. We have the fan shroud and front cross member, looks like. Some hood hinges, steering shaft, looks like a steering shaft. Not sure what these are. And the two-in-one part here, we have two different hoods. Both molded nicely. And we also have the steering wheel, the center column, or center dash, whichever you prefer to call it. We actually have some horns. Nice little touch. We've got the distributor and the brake fluid reservoir. In the next bag, we have, we can go with a stock rim. So I think it gives us 3 different rim choices on this actually, which is kind of nice. So this would be your stock rims. As you can see on there, you can actually see the center hub and the 5 lugs. Next sprue, we have motor parts. We have the fan, we have the exhaust manifolds, intake, air breather. And it looks like more shocks, and back halves of the wheels. Some half decent detail in there. Exhaust manifolds are actually done up nice, that there is a surface detail on there, so when you paint them you'll actually see the cast. And then on this sprue, if we don't use the stock exhaust manifolds, we can use exhaust headers that are on this sprue. We've got a racing roll cage that we can put into it. Different intake, different heads, different oil pan, different blocks, so pretty much different motor altogether on this one. The other one had a 7-blade fan. This one has a 4-blade fan in front of the motor, and once again the wheel backers. So I'm pretty sure that this here is mostly an optional sprue. Into our next couple of bags here, we have chrome, and more chrome. So I haven't shown any how I build models or any of the models that I've built on YouTube yet. I'm still trying to figure out how I want to set that up. Like I was saying before, still kind of new to the whole YouTube recording process. The reason I decided to go with kit reviews to begin with is there's been quite a few kits that out there that I've been interested in, and then when I actually open the box I'm quite disappointed with what's in there, or happily surprised with what's in there. So that's what led me to do these in-box reviews, or what's in the box type deal. That way it gives everybody an idea of what you can expect when you get this model, and you know what options come with it, what options don't, the detail in it, the non-detail in it. Yeah, so I figured, you know what I'm gonna do is, depending on how many watches of the video I get and how many likes, I mean there's quite a few models posted on there so far. There's quite a few videos, bikes and cars and such. That's primarily what I build, but I also don't shy away from military, especially aircraft. I love building aircraft. So what I figured I've done is, maybe in comments, you know, check over all the videos, and I'm figuring if I get to 50 likes on any one of them, I'll actually do a build video of that. Not saying it's going to be the perfect build video, but it'll be a start, and we can go from there. Anyway, let's get back to this. As we can see, we've got chrome bits here, or rims, the 5-spoke, and we've got the Hemi valve covers. We've got another air breather. We've got a alternator and carburetors. and looks like a Hurst shifter. Chrome plating is actually done really well. You won't have to give these the good old blue bath if you don't want to. I'm just saying that the plating is really nice and sharp, that there isn't a lot of excess flash inside the spokes, so it can be built up actually quite nicely. And just run your knife in there, just give it a touch. I think it'll look pretty good. You guys can be the judge of that. I'll put it up nice and close. Moving on to our next bag. Our next bag, another bunch of chrome, different set of rims, carburetors, exhaust tips. We have the front and rear bumper and grille. We have another shifter on there, windshield wipers. It's going to be a quite, I really like this kit. And kudos to Revell on this one. Anyway, let's get that up so you guys can see it. There's the front grille. Rear bumper. Looks like brake discs, alternator, rear view mirror, shifter. Wiper blades. Actually, the RT symbol is in there. Exhaust tips. And another set of rims. And more RT symbols. Are actually molded quite nicely. Let's see if I can get up there. Yeah, those RT symbols are actually quite nice. And these look like a bag of center caps. And I believe these are for bone stock factory plain Jane rims, which I've showed you the first set of rims. I believe these are for that. Let's have a good look at the decal sheet here. Canada will call them decals. For everybody else, decals. Look really nice. Got multicolor striping for the race version, or Pro Street version, if you will. We've got some Super Bs and some Hurst and Hooker headers and Fram filter, Valvoline, Craigar for the Craigar rims. I've got license plates. Got Magnum decal for the air breathers, red decals for the red line tires. Give you guys a look at that. Good decals, not a lot of flashing past the decal. They're not overly thick, so they should actually lay down quite nicely. On the directions, gives you a little bit of the background of the car, and we've got paint colors on this side. We've got callouts on the numbers and what the parts are actually called. Then we get into building the engine. We have the stock and the race versions. And then we get into the next part, step 3 and 4, stock and race. So it seems to be a theme here for the two different types of models. You have the stock and street on the top and a race on the bottom. Step 7 gets into the body work, installing the glass. Step 8 gets into installing the interior tub, the motor and the body, and carrying on to the fan shroud, the radiator, the rad support, and front griddle. And then we carry on to the exhaust system for the stock street version. So number 10 gets into the front. And then we get into the springs, the axle, drive shaft, race version. Has that on there as well, showing the different suspension components. And it goes on to all the different types of tires and stock street once again on the muffler tips. And once again stock street additional parts. And we get on to paint scheme and decals. And here we have the race version on the back for hemified. So either model you decide to build, neither seems to be a disappointment at all. My thoughts on this model, I think this one should go together quite nicely. Actually, looking at the parts, molded very nicely. Isn't a ton of flash on the parts, so cleanup and sanding should be a breeze. Will take a while to build. Like it says, 168 parts, but I'm sure out of that 168 parts, depending on what version, you're definitely going to be omitting a few parts or adding a few parts. My thoughts on this kit: inbox review, I'll give it 2 thumbs up because I really like it. We'll see what happens when it goes to the build process. But any of you thinking of buying this kit to build it up, either stock version or the race version, I definitely give it a 2 thumbs up, and you know, I don't think this kit will disappoint. Anyway, thanks again for watching our videos. Please like, subscribe, and as always, leave comments to see how we can make our channel better. Cheers.